Hello, everybody, and we are back. Like I said, I would see you the next day, and it is. It is currently Friday, otherwise known as round 2 of the NFL draft. Last night was round 1, and there were some really good picks and a couple really bad ones. We, of course, are going to go over that, and I will give you my opinion of what I thought. So picks 1 and 2 were obvious. Hang on, let me see if I can get that video to go away. There we go. Of course, round 1, or why do I keep saying round? Pick 1 and 2 were Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. Lawrence, of course, going to the Jags, not a stunner. Everybody knew that was going to happen. And Wilson going to the Jets, not a stunner. Everyone knew that was going to happen. I will say what was hilarious was one of the analysts tried to compare Zach Wilson to Russell Wilson. The two of them are completely different in every way possible. If anything, I would compare Zach Wilson to more of a Baker Mayfield when it comes to throwing. That was what they were comparing him to. He's like, his throwing motion and his body movement blah, 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 was similar to Russell Wilson. No, it's not. It's more similar to Baker Mayfield. His accuracy last season, you could, I guess, maybe compare to Russell Wilson. I, again, wouldn't. But he does make more off-platform throws. I kind of would more compare him to, I guess, a more mobile Drew Brees. Of course, he's taller than Drew Brees, but, along those lines, with the whole off pattern and his accuracy, if you were to try and do that. Next was, of course, San Francisco, in which they, thank God, didn't pick Mac Jones. They took Trey Lance. I'm a very big fan of this pick. I like Trey Lance a lot. I think that they're very happy now and that they're set at quarterback. Of course, this probably signals the end of the Garoppolo experiment, which I don't think they'll be that upset about because he really didn't do a whole hell of a lot for them. Next was the Falcons at 4. The Atlanta Falcons took Kyle Pitts, tight end out of Florida. Great pick. Very happy about it. Gives you another big vertical weapon. 5, Cincinnati took Jamar Chase. I originally did not like this pick, although after seeing how the board fell, you're all right. You didn't end up getting burned too badly. Jamar Chase, obviously big weapon, tall, fast. When I say tall, I mean he's like 6'1". Tall compared to what you had, 6'1", 6'2". Compared to some of the other receivers they have, which I believe are 5'11", and I'm trying to think how tall is their slot guy. I forget. I'm not looking at their roster right now. I know they have Boyd. Well, no, they have the guy out of Clemson last year. What's his name? He's like 6'4", so I guess he's not the tallest receiver. I thought he was there for a second, but I forgot about. I can't think of his name now. The guy from Clemson they got last year. He's their second rounder or third rounder draft pick. So they have Kyle Pitts or Jamar Chase. Sorry, I'm on the Bengals, right? Mike, that doesn't make any sense. Now they have Jamar Chase giving you a real fast weapon. I like it. I would have hoped that it would have gone with offensive line, but hey, Jamar Chase was there. I totally get it. The 6th pick was Miami. They took Jalen Waddle, giving giving Tua Tagovailoa, which, yes, it's pronounced Tagovailoa, not Tagovailoa, not however the hell else you've heard it mispronounced. I like the pick, but I think you would have been better off getting, Devonta Smith. But hey, it gives you a real fast weapon and a return guy, something that you don't normally get. The theme of this draft was Peaches and Herb, and that is reunited, and it feels so good. Detroit, for the first time in years, didn't bungle their first pick. They took something they needed. They took Penei Sewell. I'm stunned. I figured they would find a way to screw this up because it's Detroit, and that's what they do. Next is the Panthers. They took J.C. Horn. Not a big shocker. I thought they might go tackle, but I also had a feeling they could go corner. And if they went corner, they were probably going to take J.C. Horn. The stunning pick here is the next one, which is Denver, and they took Patrick Surtain out of Alabama. Why is that kind of surprising? Well, because everyone kind of projected that they would probably go linebacker. I thought they should have taken Micah Parsons. But with Surtain, you can't go wrong. You desperately need corners. Good pickup. Then, of course, the Cowboys traded out of 10. They traded with Philadelphia, and Philadelphia took Devontae Smith. 11. This was the blockbuster trade of the entire draft. 11. The Giants trade with Chicago, and Chicago takes Justin Fields at 11, giving you an electric quarterback. I still have questions about that weird arm angle he does, but hey, if he can make it work, make it work. Nagy now has very few excuses for not winning. 12, the Cowboys trade back. That was where they landed. They traded with Dallas. Dallas traded with Philadelphia. My brain read that and went Philadelphia to Dallas and thought I said Philadelphia. And they took Micah Parsons. That's a really good pick for a couple reasons. One, it gives you a really good outside linebacker if that's where they want to put him. Two, I have questions about Leighton Vander Esch and his constantly being hurt, and that gives you a really strong inside backer if that's what you want to put him. 13 was the Chargers. They took Rashawn Slater. Kind of surprised he fell that far, but they need a tackle, and that's where they're going to stick him. The Jets traded with the Vikings, which I thought was a little weird, but then when you see what they got in return, it totally made sense. And they took Elijah Vera Tucker. So I was correct in where he would go, just not the team. 15, the Patriots took Mac Jones. I'm not stunned. When I saw that that was what was on the board, I knew that was immediately where they were going. I still don't like Mac Jones. I think that he's going to be meh. But he is going to the Patriots, which is a system that being meh is fine because typically they have weapons, which they do this year now, and a pretty good offensive line. So decent landing spot. 16, Arizona Cardinals took Zaven Collins, linebacker out of Tulsa. I was kind of surprised by this one. I thought they'd go corner. But hey, you got yourself a really athletic linebacker, and now you've got two of them. So more power to you guys. This was the big head scratcher of, honestly, the only thing I could say was, what are you doing? And when I say that, I mean that in the biggest insult possible. And that is the Las Vegas Raiders. They took Alex Leatherwood out of Alabama, which tells me that your scouting department doesn't exist. You just don't scout people. You go, I like the name. We're taking him anyway. Alex Leatherwood is not very good. He's going to prove that, I'm sure, in the draft, or in the regular season. He's going to continue to take a big fat crap, like I said when they picked him. Miami takes Jalen Phillips with their second pick. I'm concerned about the concussions, but if he can find a way to not get concussions, which is, of course, possible at end, I really like the pick. He's long and he's fast. 19, another head scratcher. The Washington football team takes Jamin Davis, linebacker out of Kentucky. I like Jamin Davis. He's a very good player, but not the best linebacker of the entire draft, and that's not even up to debate. So I don't know why they did that. The Giants take Kadarius Toney. Now, I know people were upset, and I don't know why. He's a very good receiver. He's lightning fast. He helps you in the return game. Why are you upset about that? 21, Indianapolis goes with Kwity Paye. I want to make sure I say his last name correctly because apparently nobody else can. It's Paye, not Payne. From Michigan. Originally kind of thought that was a bit of a head scratcher, but then I looked at it and I'm like, you know what? He can play tackle. He can play edge. You can move him around that defensive line and really use him at either position. I prefer him at edge. And it just really helps that rushing part of your defense, and I'm a big fan of being able to do that. Next, Tennessee took Caleb Farley. Really stunned he fell this far. I know the back was a big concern, but from everything I had heard, he was over that. So, I mean, that explains why he fell that far. Tennessee got a really, really good player. Next is the Vikings. They took Christian Darrisaw, offensive tackle, Virginia Tech. I like the pick. Definitely, he's going to be the replacement for Riley Reif. And you now have a really good, solid tackle at that end. 24, I hate it when I'm right. The Pittsburgh Steelers take Najee Harris. Now, I know you're going, from your original official draft, you didn't have them doing that. Well, in many other ones, I did. I went with the obvious pick in my official that they would go offensive line because they also need a lot of help there. Although the guy they were going to take is still on the board, and I think he goes to the Bengals. 25, Jacksonville takes Travis Etienne. Again, reunited, and it feels so good. They, of course, traded with the Rams to get that pick. Cleveland took Greg Newsome. Kind of surprised, but not. Why am I also not surprised? I was kind of surprised because I thought they might take a defensive lineman to help that out, but I knew they were going to go defense regardless, and Greg Newsome's a really good corner. The Ravens take Rashad Bateman. Kind of thought he might fall to New Orleans, but hey, Ravens, you got yourself a really good receiver. New Orleans took Peyton Turner. Bit of a head-scratcher, simply because of where you took him. You took him in the first round. Peyton Turner is a really, really good defensive end. He's got a really high ceiling. I like what he projects to be able to do. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do it right away. And now we get to a team that loves nothing more than apparently to take a big, fat crap on their fans. And that is the Green Bay Packers, and they took Eric Stokes. I like Eric Stokes. He's a very aggressive corner. He plays the ball really well. He's also decent in run defense. My problem is, you guys just had a dispute with your Hall of Fame quarterback about how you don't give him any weapons and that he just needs some help there. What'd you do? You took defense. I will at least say this. You got a guy that can at least give him the ball back. Next is the Buffalo Bills at 30. They took Gregory Rousseau. Like the pick, they need edge defense, and that's what they went and got. The Ravens then took, that's weird, that's not his name, Jason Owe. Why that's on here differently, I'm not real sure. I really like Jason Owe. I don't like that he didn't have any sacks last year, but when you look at his pressures, kid's pretty good, and I think he will work out well with this Ravens defense. And then Tampa Bay took Joe Tryon, which is surprising and also not surprising. Surprising because of all the things they needed, I thought they might go offensive line. But you got a really good player in Joe Tryon. He can really get to the QB, and he doesn't have to play right away. So I'm a big fan of that pick. Now, I'm going to do a second round mock because I can. I might not do the whole thing. I might just do the first few picks. I don't know. We'll see how I feel. 6:30. I can do the whole thing. All right, hang on. Select all. Next. Start the draft. All right. Obviously, wait. Oh, it didn't do it correctly. Hang on. Whoop. Nope, it only loaded one. I don't know why I did that. Hang on. Wait. That's weird. It did it again. It only has the one team up. All right. Well, regardless. We now are with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, of course, pick first. They need offensive tackle, wide receiver, safety, corner, tight end, interior defensive line, edge, wide receiver. My first thought is Tevin Jenkins. But you've already got a left tackle that I think you should keep around anyway. So let's go wide receiver. I think they take Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss. I knew it was going to do that. Why it did that, I'm not sure. It goes, that's the only team you picked. No, it isn't. Lies! There we go. I don't know why I did that. Okay, so I said Elijah Moore. That's why. Okay, hang on. Nope, I figured out what the problem is. For some reason, it didn't want to pick up that this is the second round. It wanted to do first round only. Give me a second. We'll pick somebody that we know won't go. I'm like, why is it doing that? Oh, it's going first round, second round, because you're in the second round. Okay, that's why it did that. Hang on. That was weird. Okay, let me pick safety. Let's go all the way to the bottom and have you tick. They need a safety. Never mind. What's something you don't need? Quarterback. Here, we'll go all the way to the bottom. I'll have you take, Alabama A&M. Just because it's one of those where you go, it doesn't matter. Just take somebody that's never going to play. There we go. Let's scroll up to the top. Okay. I think they're going to take Elijah Moore. So, Elijah Moore. Now we go to the Jets. They need corner, edge, running back. I see an edge sitting right there that they desperately could use. I think they take Azeez Ojulari, edge from Georgia. Now we go to the Ravens. The Ravens. This is the third or fourth time in a row now where I've screwed up the Falcons, and my brain goes, I know who that is, but it doesn't want to say it. My mouth doesn't want to communicate with what's going on up here. My first thought is Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, because that is a need for your team. However, we also got to look at the other things you need, which is corner and edge. They also need an offensive tackle, which I see Tevin Jenkins sitting here, and that would be a really good pick. But I don't know if that's who they take. Pull up the edge real quick and see who's still available. Azeez could be available there also. In that case, that'd be a no-brainer. Basham, Perkins, Osai. My first thought is Ronnie Perkins, but I don't know if they'll do that. Corner is another need. Let me see who's available at corner. Calvin, Aaron, Asante, Elijah, and Melon Fonwu. Well, my first thought is go get Asante Samuel. Because of those four, not including Melon Fonwu, of course, that would be including only Kelvin Joseph, Aaron Robinson, Asante Samuel, and Elijah Molden. Of those, I like his playing the ball a little better. If you're looking for a slot corner or a guy who could start in the slot and then work his way outside, I'd go with Elijah Molden. Tackle. Let me look at tackles real quick. Okay, hang on. I'm pulling up Jake Matthews' contract for those of you who are wondering what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. He is under contract until 2024. So, says you need a tackle. I don't know if you need one. For the amount of money you're paying him, that would be pointless. My immediate question, are any of those voidable years? Now would be the time to get rid of him. Well, no. No, that is if you cut him right now, it would be dead cap. So, I guess in 2023 would be the best time to get rid of him because right now you're paying him $30 million in dead cap. And then next year it's 19, and then the year after that it's only 84. 8.4 million, that is. So, let's go ahead and say he's too expensive to get rid of. So you don't really need a tackle, although I think you could. In that case, you'd need a right tackle. And I think Tevin would be good at right tackle, but I say no. Let's go corner. Let's have him take Asante Samuel Jr. I think that's a really good pick for them, and I think that's a good spot. All right, now we go to the Dolphins. Running back and linebacker. Ooh. Javonte's sitting right there. So is Michael Carter. Javonte Williams, I think, fits their system a little better. But I can't overlook. In a perfect world, he falls all the way. In a perfect world, Wu falls all the way to the Seahawks. I don't see that happening. Thinking about the division they're in. You got to cover Saquon. Right? Isn't that their division? No, they play in the division with the Patriots. So you got to cover the Jets. Who now have... They just signed somebody not that long ago, didn't they? Let me think about that for a minute. You know what? I think they'll go safe. My first thought is Wu. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is the best linebacker in the entire draft. There is no debate about that. So that's my first thought. My second thought is, do they need a running back? No. I mean, they do and they don't. I think you're fine with the guys you've got. You know what? Screw it. They're going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, linebacker out of Notre Dame. Next, we go to the Eagles. The Eagles need tight end, corner, safety. I think they take Trevon Moehrig, safety out of TCU. Bengals, offensive tackle, tight end, Tevin Jenkins. Not even, crap. My thing picked up Javonte Williams. I meant Tevin. I hate that you can't edit this. Is there a way for me to do that? Yes, no, perhaps. Crap. Okay, I meant Tevin Jenkins. I'll have to just note that and say Tevin Jenkins. As I went to scroll up, it clicked it. You guys also need a tackle. That could be Cosme. You also need a linebacker. I'm not going to lie, that's going to drive me insane. Let me redo that. I'm looking at it going, that's going to bother me because he's still on the board and my brain goes, oh, let's take them. That's not who's there. Hang on. I know I'm running up against the clock here. Select all. Next. Starting over so that way I can do the thing I was doing. 2 rounds. Yes. Pick somebody at the very bottom that will not go. Still a possibility. Probably not, but maybe. There, we'll have you take Felipe Franks. Somebody who will not go in the second round, I can guarantee it. In fact, I wouldn't take him in all 7. All right. I had you going... I can do this off of base memory pretty much. Elijah... Aziz... I gotta click on corners to get to that one. Asante... Wu... Moehrig. And I have you guys taking... Hang on. Tevin Jenkins. There we go. All right. Now we're with the Panthers. Tackle, linebacker, tight end. My first thought is Eichenberg. That would be a really good left tackle for you guys to work with. But I also see Samuel Cosme sitting there, and that could be a need. He's still available at linebacker. Browning, Bolton. Ooh. I could see them going with Nick Bolton. Where's Pat ranked? Ooh, he fell. I could see them going with Pat Freiermuth. Or Tommy. Probably Pat would be my assumption if they go tight end. Let's say they go with Samuel Cosme for the sake of argument. All right, now we go to... Sorry, my footage is... Scroll down. There we go. Otherwise, I can't see interior offensive lineman. Now we go to the Broncos. They need interior offensive line, linebacker, interior D-line, running back. Landon and Creed are the top 2 there, but ooh. I think they go with Christian Barmore. Interior defensive tackle, Alabama. Now we go to the Lions. Wide receiver, corner, quarterback, linebacker, interior defensive line, everything. They need everything. Well, my first thought is wide receiver. And I see Terrence Marshall sitting there, and that would be a beautiful pick. But we also have to contemplate corners. There's Kelvin Joseph, and who else did I say? Aaron Robinson, Elijah Molden. If they go Elijah Molden, I will not be upset. I think it's a bit of a reach, but I won't be upset. Aaron Robinson, he's really good, but I don't think you need him at the position you're at. Kelvin Joseph is the only other guy I would really go with, and that's because he's such a good perimeter corner, which is what they need. But for the sake of argument, let's say they go Terrence Marshall, wide receiver. That would be a beautiful pick. I wouldn't be upset with it. Now you go to the Giants, wide receiver. That's funny. Linebacker, corner, offensive tackle. I could see them going with Nick Bolton or Baron Browning. I could also see them going wide receiver again. They still need one. Not as big of a need, but still could see them going with one. But I think they go with Kelvin Joseph out of Kentucky. They got to replace the guy they took last year who got in so much trouble they had to cut him in training camp. So that was the guy out of Georgia. I can't think of his name right now. All right, now we go to the San Francisco 49ers. Need edge, interior, O-line, corner. Let's look at edge. I mean, Carlos Basham, yeah, but there's somebody else I see on here that I think fits your system, and that's Ronnie Perkins. Interior offense is, of course, Dickerson and Humphrey. Okay, I'm gonna tell you both scenarios here. Interior O-line, Landon Dickerson would be amazing because he can play both center and guard, although you have a center in Alex Mack that they picked up. How long he'll play for, I don't know. So for right now, that would be that position. If you were to go edge, I would say Ronnie Perkins, but for the reasons that I have, which is he can play both positions, we're going to pick up Landon Dickerson. Because you can play him at guard now, and then when Alex Mack retires, you can move him to center. If you want to. Now we go to the Cowboys. I think they take... they also need a tackle. No, I think you have to. I think they go Aaron Robinson. I don't think you have a choice. It's either that or they're going to go with Elon Fonwu. It depends on what they want to do. If they want to have a guy who is prototypical and can become a really good outside corner, you go with Aaron Robinson. If you're looking for size and can be moved if things go awry, you go with Elon Fonwu. Because if he can't fit at corner for some reason with your team, you could always kick him to safety. Although I like him at corner. Which leaves the Jags to take Liam Eichenberg. Unless there's a really good safety that I'm aware of. Well, Javon Holland. Tight end, I could see them going Freiermuth, but again, I don't think that. I think he's too far down the list for you guys to be genuinely interested in him at this point. Interior D, Ozariki, maybe. Nixon, maybe. Edge. Who's available at edge? Basham, Perkins, Desai. No. I think tackle's got to be it. I'm thinking here. I mean, they could trade this pick. You already got a really good player with your first pick. I think Eichenberg's got to be it. You got to get a tackle because they can always trade Cam if they're not happy with what he does. Now you get to the Patriots: linebacker, wide receiver, corner. Who's best available? Because they typically do that. Baron Browning? Let's go Baron Browning. Chargers. Edge, safety, corner, wide out, interior O-line. Well, my first thought is Creed Humphrey. But you already have that position, so you don't need it. Edge, Carlos Basham. Which would be good for your team. Safety corner. I also see Osai, who would be really good for you guys. I also see Wyatt Davis sitting there, but I don't know if people are going to be concerned about that injury. Well, let's say they get Ronnie Perkins, Oklahoma. Now we go to the Las Vegas Raiders, who I swear to God they don't have anybody in that front office that knows what the hell they're doing. Let's just say they get Levi Onwuzurike. They need an interior defensive lineman, and I think they fall in love with his name, which is something that they apparently are only interested in, as opposed to actually taking good players. Interior O. They take Creed Humphrey. The Cardinals take Creed Humphrey. That really helps your team out. Now we're right back where we started, and look at that. Javonte Williams is still on the board. The Dolphins take Javonte Williams. All right. Washington. Tackle, corner, safety. Dylan Radins is sitting right there, but so is Javon Holland. And there has to be a conversation about who's better, him or Holland. Radins, I think, is a really good tackle. I really like him at this point with who's no longer available. But Holland is a really good safety out of Oregon. You have to have that conversation as well. The only other tackle I see on here is Brady Christensen. I'm not in love with him for this team. I don't think he'll be a very good fit. Corner, there really aren't any corners left on the board at this point. Now Elijah Molden, who I like, but I don't know if you take him at that spot. I think you got to get a tackle. Say they take Dylan Radins, tackle, North Dakota State. I don't know if that'll be the tackle they take, but I know they're going to have to go tackle. You need one. And now we're with Chicago, who has a similar dilemma: tackle, wide receiver, corner. I actually see a wide receiver on this board that I think they would like, and that's Rondale Moore. But I also see Amari Rodgers, who has maybe a little more upside because he doesn't have the long injury history. But I know that Chicago likes to run those weird gadget plays, so I think they take Rondale Moore out of Purdue. I don't think he'd be upset with that. I think that's a pretty good pick. Titans. Wide receiver, tackle, tight end. Amari Rodgers? I mean, if you desperately need a wide receiver, Amari Rodgers would be a really good pick. I don't think he'd be upset with that at all. At tackle, Christensen again. I don't like Christensen this early. Tight end, Tommy Tremble. If you were to go tight end, I don't think Freiermuth would work for your system. I think Tremble would be better because of how well he blocks, giving you an ability then to run so much more with Derrick Henry. I think they take Amari Rodgers out of Clemson. Now we get to the Colts, who I would love to see Ike fall to. If Ike falls to the Colts, I will flip out, but I don't see that happening. I think that they go and they take... Let me double check that I'm right here. That I have the right prediction. Come on. Come on. Load a little faster. Well, we have to think about this. Why? Why do you have to think about it? But why, Brian? All right. They took an edge, right? Yeah, they took Kwity Paye. Okay. That's what I was double checking. I was like, let me pull up their draft class. I think they took Kwity Paye, right? Yeah, I think you take Elijah Molden, corner out of Washington. I think you'd be very happy with him. There you go. Now we get to the Steelers. They need corner, tackle, linebacker. Or interior line. Sorry, not linebacker. Who's still on the board for best available? In a perfect world, Creed Humphrey falls to them or Landon Dickerson. I don't see Dickerson happening, but I could see Creed Humphrey maybe creeping down the board here. In this case, interior O-line, the guy that's best available would be Wyatt Davis. Edge. Now we get to pick for the Seahawks. In a perfect world, Wu falls to you, and I would flip out. I don't see that happening in any possible universe, but it would be really funny, and I would laugh. I would also be pretty pissed. Carlos Basham, Joseph Osai are the first two edge guys. They're actually right on top of the board there for a team that needs an edge. But you also desperately need to help out your quarterback. And so, tackle-wise, Brady Christensen's still there. They also need a corner. And I know they really like Melvin Fonwu. He's big. He's the guy they usually would use in your system. But I think you have to go edge here. I wouldn't be stunned if they trade this to try and gain more capital because they only have 3 picks. Let's say they go Carlos Basham. I could actually see them doing that. I think the Rams. So the Rams need interior O, tackle, and tight end. I could see them going with Brevin Jordan is sitting there. I could see that happening because they want a guy that's more of your prototypical receiving type guy. But I also see Quinn Minor sitting here, and I don't think that would be a big drop off for them if you want to put him at guard. Also because you have a guy that's already there. So you wouldn't be screwed if he doesn't play immediately. I'll go with Quinn Miners. Now we get the Chiefs. Wide receiver, linebacker, interior offensive line. Well, as I've told you, the interior offensive line right now falling down the board. The first 2 guys I see are Nico Collins, Dyami Brown. Dyami Brown would be a really good pick for them. I also see Amon-Ra St. Brown sitting there, which would, of course, also be a beautiful pick for this team. Who's available at linebacker? Is Nick Bolton still on the board? He is. Never mind. I made my mind up for me. Nick Bolton going. Say, you got to be able to get to the quarterback, and you got to have somebody who can cover. Nick Bolton does that. Now we go to the Browns, who need interior wide receiver edge. Interior defensive line, to be specific. Davion Nixon, maybe. Wide receiver-wise, I could see them going with Nico Collins or Dyami Brown. And then edge. Who's on the edge? Joseph Osai. Of the guys that are available, I see it's him, Janarius Robinson, and Quincy Roche. I would probably go with either Robinson or Roche ahead of Osai just because I like Osai, but I don't like him for the Browns. I don't know how he works in that system. So I'm going to take the easy way out. We're going to take Dyami Brown, wide receiver. Why? That gives you a really good player who can play in the slot, and you're not going to be screwed then when it comes to wide receivers, especially if they do, in fact, want to let go of there have been rumblings that they might want to let go of Odell. Corner, wide receiver, linebacker. I think they take Tyson Campbell. Saints take Tyson Campbell. Now we go to the Bills, running back corner. Melvin Fon would be really good, but I think they need to address the running back position. They take Michael Carter. If they don't take Michael Carter, you take Melvin Fon. That's easy. Now we go to Green Bay, who, for the love of God, need to help out their quarterback. And there's a guy sitting here that I want them to take, and that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. 2 reasons. 1, he's really good. 2, it'd be funny to have Equanimous and Amon-Ra on the same team. Now we go back to the Chiefs. I think they take Nico Collins. Of course, I could also see the Green Bay Packers taking Nico Collins. If that's true, they take Collins, and then Amon-Ra would go after that. Wide receiver, interior. I think that the Bucs then would go with Davion Nixon out of Iowa. And that answers that. All right. The draft started 4 minutes ago. I'm sure they're about to get ready to start making their picks. I'll be watching along with you guys and all that jazz. So hopefully I'm not completely wrong. I understand I'm going to be wrong from time to time. That's not a problem. It's just that I like to push in the right direction. So see you guys tomorrow. We'll review again the picks. I assume I'll be up. If not, I'll do it at the end, and I'll just do 2 through 7. All right, bye.